Prologue. Scars that never fully heal. There's a question that's haunted me since I was a kid. Why do I exist? This memoir is an attempt to answer that question. My story is a mosaic of shattered glass pieced together from a life I buried deep. My childhood was a battlefield, where love was laced with lectures and lashings, and safety was a myth I couldn't believe in. This story is the descent into the inferno of Rue Chambéry, a 3,800 square foot prison where my biological father, Jerry, ex-NFL linebacker, ruled with a Super Bowl ring and a sociopath's snarl, his serpent tongue striking us silent. The names are changed, but each person is a reflection of the people who shaped me and molded me out of the muck. The raw ache in every word is mine, the memories pieced together like shards of a smashed heart after decades of broken silence. The story is my clawing ascent toward grace, a redemption I never thought I deserved. These are the emotions I've carried, heavy as stones, the scenarios I've lived, etched in blood, sweat, and too many tears, spilled onto these pages, a memoir of pain and survival I fought to reclaim. It's the ascent toward a new life, baptized in St. Paul's font, water a washing away Jerry's sins and mine. But more than that, it's a reckoning with the question of being itself. How do you claim a self when your father gutted you, left you bleeding until you were empty, then scraped at the remains? Each day felt like a new level of hell, a deeper void where I wondered if I was real, if my pain was proof of existence or its refutation. I was a kid who stared into that abyss, questioning why I was here with every blow, every venomous word that was meant to erase me. Jerry's rage wasn't just violence. It was an existential assault, a denial of my right to be a child, to be anything. I'd lie awake at night and ask, if I'm nothing, why am I still here? The answer didn't come in those long, lonely nights. Coronado Bridge didn't offer an explanation when the bay's black pole whispered, end it. I couldn't find resolutions in the reckless blur of cheap liquor and weed smoke. Answers came later, in lifelines I didn't expect. Fremont's holiday glow with the Browns and Kalanis, their laughter drowning out the screams. Mission Bay's root beer and grease, a defiance against the nothing. Julia's voice, steady as a psalm, pulling me back from the edge. Football fields where I ran from his shadow. The turf was a cathedral until I saw its cost in Jerry's limp. His rage, his brain turned to mush. I escaped through rapping. Levity's voice was a howl I couldn't save. I was on the edge of self-destruction. Suicide was a constant nag at my psyche. The world kept cracking, but I kept clawing through the ash, past the ghosts, beyond the sermons I'd swallowed whole. This is a story of breaking and becoming, of a boy baptized and raged who found grace in the font of St. Paul's, water washing away the devil's sin and mine. My story is the visceral ache of siblings scattered. Krista chasing Jerry's echo and landing in Hawaii, Graham tethered to his rage in Ramona, Bailey blossoming something new through her kids' laughter in Nampa, and a mother, my mom, whose endurance taught me to rise, always rise. It's Julia's love, June's giggle, Foster's fragile bones, a family forged from the wreckage, a middle finger to the monster who couldn't love. I found purpose teaching English literature to high school kids. I hand them books like maps I never had. They look at me, these kids, with eyes that mirror the boy I was, and they say things that crack me open. You give me hope, Mr. Plummer. You changed my life. Their words hit like a sob I can't swallow, because I really see them. I pull beauty from their lost, aching souls as they question their own life. I help them find their place in a world that feels rigged against them. I know what it's like to stand on that edge, to wonder if you are worth existing. I'm as raw as I can be with them, not because I try to be, but because I can't be anything else. I tell them how I kept going, not because I was strong, but because I was too stubborn to let the darkness win. They listen, and in their eyes I see something shift, a flicker of belief that they too can claim their being, can carve a self from the chaos. This is my purpose, the weight I carry, to be an example for what they could possibly become, to show them that existence isn't a punishment, but a question they get to answer. I teach because I was that kid, hollowed out by a father who made me doubt my own reality, and I survived. So I stand here, cracked and whole, offering them a hand. Levity's raps, born in a garage to drown out my trembling voice, and these pages, written in blood and tears, are part of it. But the classroom is where my redemption comes to life. It's where I wrestle with the existential dread that still wakes me at 3 a.m., the fear that Jerry was right, that I'm nothing. Every time a kid says, "You inspire me," It's a small defiance of that fear, a proof that my being matters, that I'm here for something beyond the pain. The family I've built carries this weight too. Souls stitched from the wreckage. The emotions are real, the memories are mine. Every word is an ember from the fire I survived, a grace I claimed, raw and bloody and finally whole. To Julia, Beth, Mom, Tanner, Camden, and the family forged in the ashes that Jerry tried to burn until the wick was torched. You taught me to believe in something bigger, a grace beyond the flames. This memoir is my outstretched hand to every kid like me, drowning in a darkness that feels eternal, convinced that salvation is a lie. I mean this with all my heart. God has a plan for you if you have enough faith to trust in Him. God gave me the strength to claw my way out and become something more than my scars. With enough conviction and faith, you can become something more too. The question of why do I exist is answered not in erasing the pain, but in building from it. I'm here to love, to teach, to raise my children free of Jerry's shadow, to show others they can rise. These pages are my outstretched hand, heavy with blood and tears, offering hope. You are enough. Your scars are proof you endured, and your life, no matter how broken, can forge something eternal. Blood in the font is my renaissance, a life wrestled from the void, a redemption sealed in faith, family, and the stubborn will to be more than the nothing I was told I was.